Yo, what is good, YouTube? Welcome back to another JC2K video. In today's video, we are going to be doing episode number 51 of I Build Your Teams, the series where I build my viewers' squads into the best teams possible for my team showdown or whatever else they might be playing. Before we hop into the video, if you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Help me push towards the 50,000 subscriber mark on the channel. I upload every single day, multiple videos a day. Would really appreciate it if you'll do subscribe. I've been sick for the past few days and I'm still uploading like 9-10 videos a day. So we are on our grind. Would really appreciate it if you'll do subscribe. Without further ado, first team today comes in from my guy L West. He's got 2.2 million MT, says his entire team's unsellable. Well, Denny's not unsellable, but everybody else is unsellable. Anyways, I look at this squad. I think power forward's an area to upgrade at this point. And I think adding another center as well, because I don't love this Dark Matter Bobo. I feel like those are your two biggest areas of need. You have 2.2 mil, which is not like a small amount. That's enough MT to make a couple of substantial upgrades. The question is, how much do you want to spend, really? And I think it depends. But for me personally, my number one quick, just like easy recommendation to just transform this team would be to add two guys. One of them being Dark Matter Dikembe Mutombo. Put him at power forward and forget about it. He's a guy you can pay 500,000 MT for at this point and you won't regret it. He can play in your team for the rest of the year. Pick him up, start him at power forward. I think he's better than KP or Kareem. He's a no-brainer. The other question is, do you want to move KP to the 5 and add another bench big? Do you want to add a starting center? Like you could go buy a Taco Fall, for example. Problem is Taco's going for over 1 million MT still. So, or I think if you get a base one, he's just under 1 million MT. So it's just, that's a lot of MT to spend, because if you spend $1 million on Taco and 500K on Dikembe, all of a sudden you only have 700K left. So I don't know. I think there's a chance maybe you go get a Mark Eaton. For me, if you want to save the MT, you probably go get Mark Eaton. You could add Dikembe and Eaton and have Dikembe, KP, Kareem, and Eaton or something like that, or Dikembe, Eaton, KP, Kareem, whatever, however you want to do it. But those could be your 4 bigs, and that'd be amazing. If you want to spend more, I don't think Taco would be a bad idea, but that'll just limit the amount of MT you have left. Next squad today comes in from Ty. He's in desperate need of a backup 4. He likes to switch everything, which I guess is why he has been in Magic. But I kind of agree with this comment. This dude said he would tell him to sell Ben, Magic, Weber, and possibly BZ by next week. He makes a fair point. I understand not wanting to sell all those guys though, because you want to keep your squad good. I would sell one of them, and the one that I would sell is Magic. Number 1, because he's the most expensive of all of them. But number 2, he's not that insane. He's very, very good. His SIGs are god tier. He's a great card. But you could get 2 mil for him, pick up a super badged up Denny Avdia. Sure, within a day or two, you can find a really badged Denny. And if you can add a super badged Denny Avdia for 200,000 MT or whatever, I mean, I was able to pick up 11 Legend 29 Hoff one for like less than 200K. You could easily get a fully Hoffed with a bunch of good Legend badge Denny Avdia, have him as your backup point guard. You still have shot creators, Larry Bird and Chris Webber off your bench. And then you have like almost 2 million MT to work with, maybe over 2 million MT to work with, depending on how badged your Magic is and how much he sells for. And that gives you a lot more flexibility to add that power forward that you want. You know what I mean? Because now you can add Dikembe Mutombo. You could move Tim Duncan to your bench, and now your power forward's set. You could sell, or you can't sell Mark Eaton because he's actually not unsellable. Sorry, he's unsellable. Sorry, but you could just run Dikembe, Eaton, Tim Duncan, and Kareem, and have Denny as your backup point guard. Save so much MT. You'll still have 1.5 mil or so. And then you have so much more set up for next week's content drop and the rest of the year, while still having a really good squad and getting that power forward upgrade you want. I don't think you'll miss Magic that much if you add Denny. That's my honest opinion. Next up is my guy Dukes. Shout out to Dukes. Y'all go follow him on Twitch. He streams every day. That's my guy, one of my boys in the community. But he's got like a lot of MT, 5.2 mil. He's got 14 more. Good Lord. Oh my gosh. He has 14 GOAT pieces. That does not sound financially responsible. But that being said, he wants to move Booker to the bench. Let's think. 14 GOAT pieces. What do you do with 14 GOAT pieces with this type of a team? I think you break them down for MT, to be honest. I think that's really what you do. Well, we'll see if he actually does it, but that's what I would do. I would break them down for MT. Because I don't think any of the Invincibles are really worth adding to this team. Cowens isn't better than Giannis or Pettit. Pierce isn't better than Rudy Gay or Dr. J. And JR is better, but he doesn't give you the size at point guard that you probably want. For me, what I would do is I would get Ben Simmons and run Ben and Booker. Those can be your 2 point guards. I would break down the pieces for MT. That's going to take a while, I know, but it's going to be worth it. Because you're going to 14 GO pieces, you're going to make 2 million MT pretty much from breaking down those pieces. Like, that's nasty. And then I think upgrading Shaq and KP makes sense, honestly. I think you could move one of them to the bench. Maybe you move KP to your backup 5. Kareem goes in your last 3, Shaq goes to the 4, and you pick up a Taco at the 5. To me, that makes sense. I feel like you had Ben Simmons, you had Taco fall. Those are probably the biggest upgrades you can make right now. Get a badge Taco too. You got the MT, get one with a bunch of good legend badges. Next up is Japes. I may have mispronounced that, or JP's. I'm not totally, it might just JP. I think it's probably JP's. But he's got Denny, Bees, and Eaton are legend souped and sellable. Reem was locked in. He's got around 500,000 MT after pending auctions. I like this squad a lot. This is a really well-built, attainable team. He's got 2 quality point guards, one with a lot of size and one who's more of a scorer, and Shea, who's a really good card as well, has good size. He's got Seti and RJ, who are obviously incredible. His small forwards are really good. Beasley and Paul George absolutely gets the job done. Shaq and Miles Turner really good at power forward. And then Eaton and Kareem really good at center. Here's the honest truth. This is a great squad. I don't right now see any must upgrade spots. This is how you want to build a attainable squad. Well-rounded card, well-rounded team, use the free cards you get. Use the Cedric Maxwells and Richard Jeffersons, and Paul Georges, and Miles Turner to fill holes on your team. Those are good quality cards. And then use budget cards, guys like Denny Avdia, even a Michael Beasley who's relatively attainable. All these more affordable guys for the most part. And then obviously use your unsellables. You got an unsellable Shaq, unsellable Shea. Like, this is a really well-built team. It's a well-balanced team. You're using the cards that are available to you effectively. With 500K, you have a couple options. You could sell Eaton and look to upgrade at center. I don't know if I would do that right now. With 500K, I'm being completely honest. I know this is a weird one to include in the lineup because I'm not going to change anything to his team. It's a weird thing to include in the video. I just think this is a really well-built squad, and I think you work on stacking some more MT, try to make some MT from the available pieces that are going to be available for the rest of this week, whether it be the Triple Threat Park piece today or the challenge pieces you can earn. Exchange those for MT, make as much MT as possible with the rest of the pieces you're able to get from this festival, and save your MT so that maybe if Taco's price drops in a week or 2, you could add him, for example. It's kind of my thought process. Jason has 592K, says everything is as it stands in the picture. Not a bad squad. Castle and Ron Harper, I don't mind that. Seti and Paul George is great. Dolph and Vladrad, I mean, not terrible either. Tim Duncan and Willis Reed, Mark Eaton, David Robinson. I don't love D-Rob back at 5 at this point. That's probably the biggest thing I don't love. The question really does become, though, how much MT are you really willing to spend? Because you could pick up a Dikembe, and he would be a big upgrade for this team. You could start him at center play, Eaton off the bench, but then it's like you basically have 100,000 MT left if you do that. You know what I mean? And that's questionable. And so it becomes a tougher question with a team like this because you're a little more limited in terms of what you can do. My probable honest opinion is that, I mean, D-Rob's unsellable. You might maybe just use him. I don't know. Because part of me wants to say like a Dark Matter Artist Gilmore, who I like a lot, but he's not quite as fast as D-Rob. He's bigger and he provides that size, which is the nice part. But do you want to spend the MT on I mean, he's barely over 100K. I'd probably get Artists. That would allow you to have the option to put D-Rob at the 4 as well if you need it for size. You could have him in your last 3 and just have him as an option there. Even Donovan Clingan. If you got Donovan Clingan from the last festival, he's worth throwing into this lineup. If you could get, with pieces, number 1, get MT. But number 2, if you could get Richard Jefferson. Because if you could slow Richard Jefferson at your backup small forward, or backup shooting guard, then you could throw Paul George at small forward and sell Dolph Shays. That'll make you some MT as well. So I'd probably do that if you could. Get RJ and then use the rest of the pieces you can get from the rest of this festival for MT. And have Seti and RJ as your shooting guards, Paul George and Vladrad as your small forwards, sell Dolph. Probably add Artist Gilmore, gives you some flexibility in the front court, and then try to make as much MT as possible from there. And then the final team today comes in from Baxel Roy. He's got 3.5 million MT. Plan to rebuild his team since 2K26 will be around the corner, so he's willing to spend everything. All right, let's do it. Denny Avdia and Manu Ginobili, I don't hate that. Sean Marion and Seti, I love that. Paul George and Tyrus, not bad. Timmy and Willis, okay. And then Miles and Rudy Gobert. I'd probably move Miles to the backup 4. Take Willis and Gobert out of the lineup and buy 2 centers. You got 3.5, buy Taco, and then buy Eaton or Dikembe, depending on how much size you want in your backup center. Or Opal Wimby, that's an option too. One of the 3. I'd get Taco, and then I would get one of Dikembe, Wimby, or Eaton, depending on what you want and how much you want to spend. And then your power forwards and centers are set. Small forward, I don't mind Tyrus Thomas. I think you could probably upgrade. Maybe you wait for now, honestly, on that one still. I just think there's going to be a better option pretty soon. Who you can get pretty darn cheap. So I would hold on that. Maybe Vladrad's a good option, or Michael Beasley, but you could also potentially hold. Shooting guards I wouldn't touch. Point guards, this is where it's like, do you want to wait a week? I almost think maybe with the point guard position as well. I know you're saying you want to spend the MT. I would wait a little bit. See if Ben Simmons' price drops a little bit again. Because if he goes down to closer to 1 million MT for badged versions of him, I would pick him up. But as of right now, I would add Taco and I'd add another big. And then I think I'd wait on the rest of it and see what happens over the next week or two as we get into season 8. Would kind of be my recommendation anyway. So with that being said, that's the last squad in today's video. I hope y'all did enjoy this episode. If you did, make sure you hit that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. I'll be back with more 2K content very, very soon, and I appreciate y'all. Peace.